We've got Arizona Republican Congressman Andy Biggs. He sits on the House Judiciary Committee. Congressman, good to have you. Is this individual, in your eyes, a spy?
Well, if he's not a spy, he's what I call an undercover operative, an undercover agent. A lot of people would call that a spy. Yeah.
So if the president's meeting with the FBI director and Rod Rosenstein, and he's obviously imploring, I know this was originally scheduled about a week ago, so I'll accept that at face value, that would it be proper for him to pound this with them and to recommend the investigation he has at least been tweeting about?
Absolutely it is. I think that he may have some other things on his agenda, but I think this revelation that's come out, I think he has to take it home and he has to find out what Christopher Wray and Rod Rosenstein are going to do about it. And I, quite frankly, I'm hoping that he really, as you call it, a powwow. I hope he's putting the pow and the wow into this thing, because he's got to drive this home that we need to know what our agencies were doing to impact the election. And if they're hiring people and embedding them into a campaign for political purposes, that is corruption at the highest level, and that needs to be prosecuted.
Do you think the president should be careful, though, how he frames this in his discussions with Mr. Rosenstein and the FBI director, that it could have the look of trying to exert his own personal influence on the Justice Department, on the FBI?
Well, I think he has to be careful, but we have to remember that these agencies are within the executive branch. He is the head. All things in the executive branch run through him. He needs to make sure that they're running independent. But if we're going to go to Inspector General, or we should do maybe a second special counsel, that moves to independence, and that's what needs to happen. Of course, he can't get in there and tell them how to conduct their investigation. But he now has become a victim, and he has a right to come to these guys and say, look, I was victimized, it looks like. You need to find that out.
All right, so if the ongoing, Inspector General is looking into all these other matters, would there be any harm in just adding this to those matters? In other words, not getting a separate investigation going, but adding it to what he's already looking at?
Well, the only problem that I see with that is, at some point, they run out of time, they run out of energy and hands that can do all the work, and you just keep adding on to this. I mean, this has become one of the most complex things I've seen, where you drip out almost every week there's something new. I think a completely independent counsel should be looking at what the Democrats did to get involved in this. I think they need to also look at what happened here with what the FBI and the DOJ did. I just don't think that the Inspector General needs to add this to his load right now.
All right, Congressman, thank you for taking the time into your schedule to join us. I appreciate it, sir.